You know, Reggie Bush, and I've done a lot of these as a player when he's with the Saints. I told him he still looks exactly the same as he joins us here outside the Saints locker room. You know, you're 2-0 now. You did the same thing last year with the pregame Who Dat chant. That has to feel good, right?
This is where the real interview starts. Like, I know you had Drew before me, but, you know, this is where the real interview starts right here.
You tried to cut in line, didn't you?
Yeah, where you get a deep dive analysis of the game. Like, Drew's not going to give you that. I'm going to give you that.
You're a broadcaster now, so you could be objective with me. I mean, that was an uncharacteristic first quarter. It was almost like everything possibly that could go wrong did.
Yeah. You know what? It reminded me a lot of, after they scored that first touchdown, the first thing I said was, this reminds me of our playoff game against the Arizona Cardinals, where they started fast, right? They had an 80-yard run at touchdown. I think it was, I can't remember the running backs. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, they started fast. We did not. Right. And then eventually we went on to win the game. We caught fire, but it reminded me a lot of kind of that slow start that we had against the Arizona Cardinals. And, you know, I didn't panic because the one thing I know that we do have is good leadership. Anytime you have good leadership, you have a good solid foundation, right? And that foundation comes from guys like Drew Brees, Sean Payton, starts from the ownership on down, Mrs. Benson, Mr. Benson, who's rest in peace, Mickey Loomis. You have veterans, guys like Mark Ingram, guys that you can lean on, right? On the defense side of the ball, you have a ton of other veterans. But the one thing that I was never worried about was if we were going to fight, if we were going to show up, because we've been in this position before. This team is battle-tested. They've been through just about any and everything. They've had to win games with their defense. Right. They've had to win games on Drew Brees' shoulders. They've had to win games on the run game. And so when you have a team that's battle-tested like the Saints right now, like they are, you have a team who's basically seen any and everything. And that makes them that much more dangerous, and that's the reason why they were able to pull out the win today.
Let me ask you to compare this team to 2009, because there's so many similarities. I mean, you lost to the same teams during the regular season. Then you had all the time off after the last regular season game where most of you guys rested. It's human nature to get rusty when you haven't played that long, right?
It is human nature, and it's one of the reasons why some coaches choose, you know, they prefer to not have a bye week. As a player, we always prefer to have bye weeks. Let's just get that on the record right now. We always prefer to have a week off of time where we can get healthy, right, and heal up our wounds and whatever other injuries that we're dealing with. So from a player's perspective, we love it. We love the bye weeks, right? From a coaching perspective, coaches differ kind of on their opinions. I know Sean loves having a bye week because it gives him a chance to prepare for an opponent. When you have 2 weeks of time to prepare for one opponent, it just makes you that much more dangerous, and it gives you the opportunity to just get a little bit more done, right, in the film room, in the study room, on the practice field.
You cover the NFL. You cover the Saints, obviously. You've covered all the teams in the NFL. They play the Rams next week. How do you think that one's going to go down? Yeah,
this is the game that worries me a little bit because they can score a lot of points. They can score fast. They have a good, solid foundation on their offense with the run game and Todd Gurley. It seems like now they're trying to get back to that run game with Todd Gurley, and now they've added C.J. Anderson, right? So it makes them that much more dangerous. On the other side of the football, their defense seemed like it got a little bit better in this last game with the Cowboys. And so that was the one area of weakness where they've struggled all season long. Secondary, passing, stopping the run. It seemed like week in and week out they were relying on Aaron Donald to kind of be that decision maker, that game breaker, the person who could make that play to kind of give them that extra added push of motivation when he could get a sack, cause turnover. And so this game is going to be tough. It's going to be hard fought, just like this game was today. And we're going to have to have our best performance to win this game.
Before I let you go, guys, I feel like I'm in a time machine. I just talked to Drew Brees about turning 40 on Tuesday. I'm talking to Reggie off camera. 3 kids under the age of 5.
Yeah,
what happened?
I'm 33.
What happened? What happened?
I'll be 34 in a month. You know,
life's good though,
right?
What
happened was time happened, right? Time happened, and you know, I got old, man. It happens to all of us. I can still play, but you know, I made the right decision for me, for my family, for my livelihood, because at the end of the day, football is a brutal sport, and we are modern day gladiators in a sport to where, you know, you're constantly putting your body, your livelihood on the line every single day, whether it's practice, whether it's on Sundays, whether it's in training camp, mini camp, OTAs. You're always putting your livelihood on the line for the sport. And so when you kind of get older, you start to understand more about those dynamics. But at the end of the day, I love the sport. I will never, ever have anything bad to say about the sport. I think it's the ultimate team sport. And I think every kid should experience football, whether it's playing or from a fan perspective.
Well, listen, you were always good to me when you were a player.
Yes,
now you're a big-time analyst. You're a father of three.
I'm trying to get to your level, man.
I don't know about that. Well, listen, enjoy the playoffs the rest of the way, and thanks for taking the time, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Reggie Bush here in the Superdome. We'll have Deuce and some others right after this. Back to you guys.